All right, we're going to work with arithmetic sequences, and what that means. A sequence, if we go each item here, is just a list of numbers in a specific order. After that, we're going to identify each thing as a term. Some textbooks will call A as the first term, some call it A sub 1. Now, which makes this an arithmetic sequence is that we can find each additional term by adding, or if we add a negative, you can consider it subtracting as well. So either one of those works. So arithmetic, all right, you can think of addition, kind of get to that A part of it. So everything we're going to deal with today, we can find the next term, if it is arithmetic, by finding out what the difference is. So a couple of the things we'll point out is n is the term number, and we'll call d the common difference. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to check and see, make sure these are arithmetic and how I get from the first term to the second term. So this is down 6, and this is also down 6. So that means the difference is -6. Next one we want to make sure that it works the whole way through. So this looks like +9. This would be +9. So the difference is 9. Okay, it'd be pretty sneaky to try and have it right the first couple times and then change it up later. But it does happen from time to time if someone wants to trick you with it. All right, this one we're going up 3. This one is up 6. This is up 12. Okay, so this is not arithmetic. Okay, so as far as yes or no for arithmetic, this one is not. So as soon as I had 3 and 6, I could have stopped. This is going to be geometric, which we'll do later this chapter. All right, here's how it works. If I want any term, so the nth term of the sequence is given by this equation. Remember, a sub 1 is the first term. Okay, so our book is going to use that still. N is the term number, and d is the common difference. And we can use this in 2 different ways. One is just to find out what the 40th term is. I've seen it, guys. I've literally seen kids that just took 55 and said this is what -6, right? So d is -6, and they would just write it out on a test or a quiz, and it just takes up so much time. It's not worth it. A sub 1, what's the first term? It starts with 55, and n is 40. So we're ready to plug everything in. So we want a sub 40, so that's 55, because that's what we're going to start with, plus 40 minus 1, because that's what it has in our equation, times -6. All right, so 40 minus 1 is 39. We're going to multiply that by -6. Notice I'm going to use parentheses here just so I don't forget and accidentally subtract there. So I have 55 plus 234, and that's a -234. So we're at -179. What is it? That is the value of the 40th term. Okay, so the 40th term has a value of -179. That's how it works. All right, so we'll drop these in here. A sub 22, why am I using that? N is 22. First term is 8 plus, we want 22 minus 1. The only thing we didn't find out is what's the difference? How do we get from term to term? And it looks like +9. So I'm going to use parentheses here. So I need 21 times 9. So you can see once we get plugged in, a lot of this is just doing some calculator work, some arithmetic. Arithmetic, get it? Here we go. All right, 197 is our final answer here. That's the value of the 22nd term. All right, so that's the first thing we can do with it. And here's some examples we can try out. Okay, so when a sub 31, that means n is 31. A sub 31, I'm going to start with 34 plus 31 minus 1. If you're wondering, can I just write 30? Yes. Yes, you can. All right, and it looks like these are going to go up by 4. So we'll drop that in here. All right, so we get our final answer. The 31st term is 154. All right, 55 is what term of 4, 7, 10? All right, so here's some things I know. First term is 4. I don't know what term number I'm after. So that's n minus 1. Can we tell the pattern though? Yeah, it's plus 3. And we want the end result to be 55, so its value, right? So this is what we were talking about before, is I'm trying to be very clear. The term number is 31 up here, its value is 154. So now I have the value, so I'm going to plug the value in right here so that I can find out what term number it is. So this time we're solving for n. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to subtract 4. So this is where things get a little bit different already. I'm going to flip this around. All right, now often I find students really want to distribute this 3, but let's divide it out because we want life to be a little bit easier, and then add 1. Okay, so n, this is 18. So this is the 18th term. Okay, so if I continued 4, 7, 10 until the 18th term, that number would be 55. So this is how we can use that equation just a little bit in reverse. All right, speaking of equation, let's write the equation. How do we do it? Do the same thing you were doing before. Okay, this is the easiest way, so you don't have to really think about it, because I don't want anybody to get hurt. You know what I mean? So we're saying I just want a general equation, a sub n, 4 plus n minus 1 times, what's our difference here? 3. So we're going to, this time we are going to distribute because I'm just trying to get an equation. 3n minus 3 plus 4, 3n plus 1, combining like terms. That gives me an equation that I could use for any term. One more time, a sub n, first term is negative 1, plus, we're going to leave this as n minus 1. What's our difference here? Careful as we go from negative to positive. So let's check the positive to positive, makes it a little bit easier. Remember, this is the time where we do want to distribute. So this is 4n minus 4 plus negative 1. So it's 4n minus 5 would be a linear general equation to work with that sequence. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. All right, so if that's a little much, then you might want to take a break here and then come back to the video, because we're going to roll arithmetic means. Okay, so this time I want to find out what's the rule. Okay, terms between any non-consecutive terms and arithmetic sequence. So we have to have a given that it is an arithmetic sequence. If not, then this whole thing's out the window. So this is always going to be implied as we work on it right now. So what we have is the first term is a sub 1 is 16, a sub 2, a sub 3, a sub 4, a sub 5, so this is a sub 6. Well, we know enough to be dangerous now. So how's that equation work? So we're going to tie a couple things together in the beginning and the end. So 19 is a value that we know. So it equals 16 plus, how many terms are there? Remember we said a sub 6? 6 minus 1. What we don't know is the common difference this time. What? The difference. Let's find it. So we're going to go ahead. Let's not distribute here, right? So I'm going to make this 5d. And I'm going to get rid of this 16 right now. So that means d is 3/5. All right, this is going to be a real pain to count by. So since this works out to a super duper decimal 0.6, we're going to use that. So a sub 2, we're going to add 0.6. I'm going to put these in a different color just so you can see it a little bit better. 16.6, 17.2, 17.8, 18.4, and if I added 0.6, I'd have 19. Look at that. That's what I mean. We're so dangerous with this now. You can use this formula to figure out a couple different things, right? We found regular term, we found n, we found an equation, and now you can actually use it to find the difference as well. All right, one more. This one's not as bad because it doesn't have a decimal. Just a heads up, all right? So if you want to pause it and try it and then come back, that's cool too. A sub 1, I'm still in green, all right? A sub 2, A sub 3, A sub 4, A sub 5. All right. So I really don't really care what the ones in between are, but this last one is important to know which term number it is. So I get 110 equals 10 plus All right, what number goes in here? Oh, this is the fifth one, right? So 5 minus 1 times d. All right, so right, our 5 and our value for it are going together. So if that was any, like, I don't know where that number came from, that's where it comes from. All right, I'm going to subtract the 10 to make it 100. While I'm doing that, I'm going to make it 4d. 4 and a d. Divide by 4. I told you this one works out a little bit better, right? 25. All right, so be careful because this question will often say what terms go in there. So we actually have to put 10 plus 25 to get 35, 60, and 85. And when I add 25, that does give me to 110. All right, so that's where we're at. Good luck and keep doing a great job with it.